Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm just working on the edit for part 2 of the snowy wild camp that I did whilst I was doing a decorating job. Thank you very much for all the very kind comments about part 1. It's quite a long edit, part 2, so hopefully get it out in the next few days. In the meantime, I want to share a couple of things with you. The first thing is I've had an idea from 2 or 3 YouTubers about other different ways of producing fuel for making a fire with a spark. Made a couple of modifications to those and I'm going to try them out later with you. The other thing is, and most importantly, that we've made a development with the Fire Trough. The Fire Trough has been a resounding success and I really thank you all for those of you that have bought it and shown me pictures of it in action over various social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. It's really good to see the Fire Trough being shown from every corner of the globe really. But one of the things that was mentioned, and myself and Steve as inventors of it felt, was that there needed a bit more of a usable grill for the top of it. The griddle plate that we supply is great and it works extremely well when using it as a twig stove, but if you use it on top of, for instance, the Trangia spirit burners, then it blocks and makes the flame use somewhat inefficient. And also we designed it so that the griddle plate wouldn't fit over the Trangia style gas burners because they do pack up too much heat and it would warp most things you'd put over those gas burners. So we needed to come up with something that suited both the spirit burners and the gas burners, the Trangia style burners that is. We also wanted the grill to have sufficient gaps so that the spirit burners could be snuffed. It was also really important that whatever we designed folded flat so it could fit in the pouch that we provided with the Fire Trough. So it posed a problem to us to find a grill that was sturdy enough to fold and also fit on top of the Fire Trough. And after a lot of head scratching we realised that we couldn't come up with something that folded, but we could come up with something that was quite simple in design to sit nicely on top of the burner. So this is what we've come up with. It's a 6-piece set with 2 long pieces and 4 shorter ones, which fit together like this. You can then pick it up, which braces the structure and sits nice and easily on top of the Fire Trough like this. As you can see, there's space to snuff out the spirit burners, but there's also space so that it sits nicely on top of the gas burners as well. Well, I hope you find that a useful addition to the Fire Trough. I mentioned earlier I was going to try a couple of different techniques for fire starting to provide the initial sort of tinder style materials, and the first one I'm going to try and make is fat rope. I've seen a few different ways of doing this, so thank you YouTube for the ideas I've got, and I'm going to kind of amalgamate them a little bit into my version and hopefully it'll look something like this. I've got some jute rope, that's about 18 mils thick. I've got some of this self-adhesive fabric, I think they call it sniper tape. And I've got some candles. I couldn't find any spare sort of used bits of candles, so I bought the cheapest I could find from B&M, and I think this was about just under £2 for 3 big candles. And you also need a cutting surface and a really sharp knife. I've got this ceramic knife that I used to make my whoopee slings out of the Amsteel. The first thing you need to do is cut the rope into lengths of about 5 inches, which is about 14-15 centimeters, and secure the ends to stop it unraveling with a stripped off bit of the adhesive sniper tape. So there's 6 pieces, approximately the same length, with the ends just capped off to make sure they don't unravel. Next thing to do is to cover them completely in a thin single layer of the fabric tape. There you go. So there we go, 6 little rope sausages, and we'll get on with the next bit. Okay, so we'll get that fired up and start the meltdown. Candles. I don't know how much that will turn into, but I'll try one first and then see how we do. Well, it'd be nice to have some refreshment whilst I was doing this, but oh, here we go. Dual cooking, melting wax and making a coffee. Okay, so the wax has melted. I'm going to keep it on the heat and just start to pop. Just 2 or 3 of these in at a time. And just let the wax, I'm using a pair of very old pliers here that I don't mind getting waxy. Let the wax have a couple of minutes to soak in. It's just coming away a little bit, but I think once the wax sets again, it'll be pretty firm again. So those have had about 5 minutes each soaking in the boiling wax. I'm just going to put them on some greaseproof paper. Well, one last thing that I've heard being done is just got some wood shavings here, and I'm going to basically soak them in the wax for another experiment. And it's something I saw some bloke in the woods doing, and I asked him about it, and he said it was a gift from a YouTuber, and he sort of gave me some idea of what it entailed, so I thought I'd experiment. So I'm just soaking these wood shavings in the wax. Getting good covering. Let that soak in for a couple of minutes. What I've got here is a little bit of an egg carton, just chopped off, just the corner piece, and allegedly you can just stuff this full of the bits of waxed wood, and they should amalgamate together hopefully as the wax sets. Like that, to make a nice little fire starter, and apparently just for the touch paper, as it were, a little bit of cotton wool dipped in the wax. Pop that on top like that, and hopefully it's not pretty, but that should all sort of set a little bit like that, and it might take a spark. I'm hoping it will, but we'll try it. But I can already feel that's nicely all just joining together with the wax, and yeah, just keep one of those in the tinder bag, and hopefully that'll take a spark. We'll try. I'll just fill the other 5 or so. And it is a messy business. But I'll show you what I've made. I'm really pleased with these. I really like these. They've absolutely solidified. Now I was a bit worried that they just sort of explode all over my sort of tinder bag when I put them in, but they're solid little integrated little units. I like them, and the only thing is see if they take a spark, but that's nice little firelighters. So when that fat rope has cooled down and set, I'll try both these new firelighters. So I hope you like the new addition to the Fire Trough. It seems to work really well. I'm very pleased with the design. It fits nicely in the pouch with the Fire Trough, keeps it flat, adds hardly any weight, and yeah, I think we've come up with a winner there. Well, both the egg carton and the fat rope have now cooled down and set. I'm quite pleased with how these look. As you can see, the rope has soaked up all the wax and it's got a nice sort of shine and firmness to it. I'm not sure whether this tape actually needs to stay on, but I'll keep it on for the moment. And the egg carton has set nicely here. It's absolutely solid. It's not going to leak out or come apart in your tinder pouch. I don't know quite what to do with this fat wood, but I'll try and chop off a piece. God, certainly taken a lot of wax because this is a sharp knife. Wow. Probably just unwrap that actually. Oh, I see why they keep the tape on. It does come apart. Great. Well, now I know. So I'll probably just take some little slices of this off. And let's see if that'll take a spark. Fantastic. Well, that works. And let's try one of the egg cartons. And there we go. Now I'm going to snuff that out because I'm in my garage here, but you can see that goes pretty well. Ah! Oh God! Ah! Snuff! Right, phew. Anyway, that was pretty successful. Well, fire's now out. Garage has been ventilated. Thanks very much for joining me. That's 2 really good additions to my tinder pouch there. I hope you like the addition to the Fire Trough. I'll give the details in the description below. Thanks very much again for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. So when that fat rope has cooled down and set, I'll try both firelighters. Oh God, excuse me. Trough It dismantles really easily, fits nicely in the trough with the fire trough. Well, both the egg liner carts both the egg cup are too. So we'll see you again, and thanks for